What's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. We're back in my kitchen. Today is Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day Sunday. Honestly, me and babe have just been sleeping away, catching up on rest, planning some things. We hopefully are trying to go on like a little vacation, so stay tuned for that because we're gonna get some things going. We definitely deserve it. We've been working so hard. But today I just wanted to bring you guys in my kitchen with me to show you guys what Bae had whipped up for my Mother's Day dinner. Oh my god, you guys, I was like dreaming about this dinner, like literally dreaming about it. It looked so good on Pinterest. So many people were talking about it. You guys know that I am on basically week 6 now, so I can have soft foods. I introduced ground turkey into my diet. I was already using like a little bit of ground beef like when I was having like the Wendy's chili, so Whitney was loving it, and Whitney definitely did love like my ground turkey tacos that I made last week. So I was just thinking, I was like, you know what babe, we should make like a cheese stuffed meatloaf. And sorry, Zoe obviously had something to say but I told him this morning and he was like, yeah, I would definitely make that for you. And I was like, yes babe, like we gotta film it. So I popped on a camera, filmed this for you guys, let you guys know we ain't no Betty Crocker up in here, okay? There's nothing professional about this. We tried our best to do what we could do. We finessed the hell out of this little meal and it came out so good. So if you guys try this at home, let me know, comment down below if you guys like this recipe. And yeah, so stay tuned.
So starting out, we're going to be taking 1 pound of ground lean turkey meat. The recipe does call for 1.5 pounds of ground chicken, but we didn't have that and we didn't need that much, so we're just going to use what we have. In the bowl, we have a cracked egg already, but the recipe does call for 2 tablespoons of egg whites, which just equals 1 egg white. And we're going to add that to the mixture as well. And then we're gonna switch over and get started with seasoning. The recipe does call for basil, onion, oregano, and thyme, and garlic cloves, but we didn't have all those ingredients, so we used like more so the powder version and just decided to go with Italian seasoning. It honestly works just as well and it came out just as great. So if you guys don't have all the ingredients, don't worry, but if you want to follow the actual recipe, it's going to be linked down. We just used it more so as a reference and we wanted to show you guys how like we just, you know, went along with it. But I do know that some of you guys follow like a strict seasoning guideline. You guys are really particular about that. We're just gonna add some onion powder. Babe is like really precise with the measurements with this, but when it comes to like these type of things that don't have sodium, I'm like, go ham, like season it up, get some flavor in there. Like don't be gentle with it, boo, because you're not gonna hurt nobody. Ain't nothing wrong with a little flavor. So now moving on to garlic. I think that we were running low, so he used 2 different brands, but you can just season it how you like it. And then we're gonna move on to salt and pepper. I told him not to use a lot of salt. I'm being a little bit mindful of my sodium like I mentioned before, but I told him to go ham with pepper because I do find that I really do enjoy a nice pepper taste, especially when it's just like we're trying to avoid a lot of sodium. Now we're gonna add my favorite. We're moving over to cheese. Now we did use a lot of cheese in this recipe. I didn't know that he was going to be using Parmesan cheese in it as well, but this was a bariatric friendly recipe, so we just followed it and we added some cheese. Honestly, we're not afraid of some cheese, but I know some people do have like dairy issues, and if so, honestly, you can just skip the cheese and just go with like the seasonings. I'm pretty sure it's gonna turn out just as great. And he's just adding about 3/4 of a cup of the Parmesan cheese. Okay, so now we're just giving this a quick mix here. You can either use a spoon, some people use their hands. I remember growing up, my mama used to use her hands. Like when my mom cooked, like she cooked with her freaking soul, man. She put her heart, soul, foot in it, everything. But she used to use your hands to get all up in there, and I used to think like that was the best part. Same thing with like macaroni salad. Anyway, we got off topic. We're just gonna add some breadcrumbs. Now you can completely skip this step. I don't really know what you would substitute it for, but I do know that a lot of people are concerned with like carb intake and everything like that. Like I said, this recipe was a bariatric friendly recipe, and it didn't really call for so much of the breadcrumbs. Supposedly it's just 6 tablespoons, so if you want to use less, you can use less. If you're fine with it, you're fine with it. I didn't personally have too much of an issue with it because I know that I'm not really consuming so much of the food at once, and I know that I'm probably not getting that much carbs out of it. And then although it did call for 6, Babe did just show you guys that he only put 5 in there. So like I said, we just cut down a little bit less, and also it was less meat that we used, so we didn't necessarily need all of those breadcrumbs. Okay, so we're gonna give this one final mix. Make sure we get all the breadcrumbs in there. As you see, it actually thickens up, and you're gonna pour it into our little pan. I just use like these mini aluminum pans you get from like ShopRite, and we're just going to pack the turkey meat into the pan. So this was the point when Babe forgot the fact that we wanted to do cheese stuffed meatballs at first, but then we didn't think that we had enough meat to do that, so we wanted to just go ahead and just make like a mini meatloaf instead. And that's when he was like, oh wait, yeah, I forgot we can actually stuff the meatloaf. So he's actually patting it, but then we're going to carve like a little hole, and you're gonna see that in the next clip, how basically made like a little indentation so that we could stick a little slice of cheese in there. And the cheese that we decided to go with is Munster, both me and Babe's favorite cheese ever. He put me onto it. It is so good. We're going to take a little slice of it. I'm not exactly sure the amounts. I don't really know. You could use more if you want. You can use less, but we figured like for the size of the little mini meatloaf, this would be perfect, and we just use that one little chunk right there. Okay, so when he was doing this part, the only thing that I can think of, and this is like has to be my VSG weakness at the moment, is when I watch those foodie pages on Instagram late nights of all those cheese fries and pizzas and soups that have like 10,000 pounds of cheese on it that spread and ooze and goose, and you're just like, oh, over the damn freaking phone. Yeah, that's exactly how this meatloaf turned out. It was so cheesy, so gooey, and it was so yummy. And even though if I can just get like a little sliver of it, I was content with my life, you guys. So now we're just gonna top it off. Normally with like meatloaf, I use ketchup, but in this case we're just going to use the tomato sauce because we're just following the Parmesan recipe, and we're using the ragu one. This is something that we had in the refrigerator and didn't really want it to go bad, so you can use whatever you want. If you want a lower sodium option, you can definitely go with that. You can honestly make your own sauce. It's really up to you guys, but we chose this one and he worked out perfectly. And Babe did not clean up the side, by the way. He didn't. Okay, so now we're going to top off the meatloaf with some cheese. We're going to be taking the fat-free mozzarella cheese. The recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of 2% reduced fat mozzarella cheese, but we just used what we had, and I honestly didn't really matter. Babe is such a cheese lover, and so am I. I honestly really loved the finish of it. It was kind of more of a crunchy cheese at the top because we cooked it longer than what the recipe required. The recipe requires for you to cook it in the oven for 350 for 25 minutes, but we cooked it for 45 minutes. because it was a loaf and not the muffins. So now we're going to do some cauliflower mash, and we're taking some butter with canola oil. Honestly, you can use whatever substitute butter, whatever you guys prefer. This is what we had, so this is what we used. And we have some minced garlic. The recipe calls for cloved garlic. You can do what you do, boo. Honestly, we're going to go right in with the ricotta. This was my favorite part. I thought this was going to make it very creamy, and it really did. And yeah, so we're going to take this defrosted cauliflower rice. So we're going to start by measuring out 4 cups of the rice into the pan, and we're just going to cook this on medium heat for about 5 minutes. So once the rice is done cooking, we're taking our food processor here, and we're basically just going to pour all the ingredients that we need to into the processor. So next we're going to add some minced garlic. We're going to take 2 teaspoons and throw that into the mixture. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and add some butter and canola oil combo. Like I said, you can use any butter substitute. I honestly want to get a better one. It's a little bit more healthier, but this is what we have for now, so we're going to go ahead and use that. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of butter, so we're just going to add that. Okay, so now we're just going to take some ricotta. This is one that I actually bought when I was doing my ricotta bake, and I have the recipe stating that it's 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese. It says to use full fat. I used part skim. I don't understand why I would need to use full fat, but maybe because it might have made it creamier or something like that. Now I will say with these ingredients, the blend did come out like a little bit thicker, so we did have to alternate and add just a little bit of milk to help it out, and I'll show you guys that in a clip later. Okay, so we're just going to give it a good blend. At first, we're going to blend it on low. Like I said, this is when we noticed that it just wasn't really mashed. It was just really thick. So we decided to go ahead and add some of our favorite milk. This milk that we are adding is the Fairlife milk. I'm actually liking this better as like a substitute because it has more of a protein content in it. And it is lactose free. It doesn't, upset my stomach at all, and it tastes really great. Okay, so we're just gonna give this one final stir, and I'm gonna season it up real quick. I just added a little bit of pepper, and I'm adding a little bit of salt. As you guys can see, I'm only using a very little amount. I'm also gonna add a little bit of onion powder, some garlic powder, and just season it to how I like. If you guys have any cauliflower rice or mash recipes that you'd like to link down below, please do so, because we're so interested in trying this out. We were actually really pleased with how this came. So now I'm just seasoning the Brussels sprouts with a little bit of pepper and Mrs. Dash, and here is the completed product of the meatloaf, our Munster cheese stuffed meatloaf topped with mozzarella, parmesan sauce. So good, oozing cheesy goodness, looking like freaking perfection on a tray. I'm obsessed, you guys. This came out so delish. I'm so proud of my babe. Here are our Brussels sprouts and our cauliflower garlic mash. Super tasty. I'm loving this meal, and I want to show you guys how we portioned it out. Guys, so this is the completed meal. Zoe. This is the completed meal. This is babe's plate. This is usually how much he would eat, and then, if he wanted any more, he could obviously go back. We do have a little bit of extras here. So that's what's left of the meatloaf, and that's what's left of the mash. So we portioned out our plates for tonight's dinner. So this is my plate for tonight. Probably not going to be able to eat all of this at all. Honestly, it just looks so good. So hopefully I'm just going to pick at this. If not, I'm just going to put a lid on it and save it for whenever.
And this is our plates for tomorrow. So I work double tomorrow, so this is actually 2 meals in one. I just wanted to save space and put it in a container. So this will probably be my lunch and my dinner for tomorrow. Like I said, this is way too much for me to eat in one sitting, so don't think that like this is how much you could be eating. Yeah, so that's for tomorrow. I'm gonna put a lid on that, and this is Babe's plate for tomorrow. And we still had some leftover mash, so, and this came out really good. Kind of bland, but you know, it's our first time really making it, so we're going to try to like experiment with some more different things next time. But super yummy, came out really great. I'm so excited, can't wait to dig in and let you guys know. You know what it is, Sunday fun day, looking like shit. Don't come for me. So I'm just gonna take a bite of this meatloaf because I have to try it out. It looks so delicious. Oh my god. Don't come for me, y'all. Don't come for me. Oh my god. It's so soft. It has good seasoning. It's not too much seasoning. It's not too much like tomato sauce or anything like that. It's perfect, babe. You did that. You did that. Okay, it's so good, so yummy. Pinterest, I will be leaving the recipe link down below in my description box. I hope you guys like a little video like this. Wanted to show you guys that, you know, this is actually my first meal like that we made together, that we actually planned out, kind of like, you know, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and a vegetable type of thing. Kind of made me feel normal. And I really am excited to enjoy this meal with my babe and my pups. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, if you know no one's told you today. This video, hopefully I can get it up tomorrow for you guys. But yeah, so happy Mother's Day to y'all. I'm a mom too. I have fur babies, so we're celebrating over here with my little bariatric dinner. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you comment down below if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Actual size though, guys, this is probably what I'm gonna be picking at for the next hour.
1 hour later.
Okay, you guys, so I just wanted to show you about how much of food was left. Like I said, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to finish everything, but it was so good. It tasted like the real thing. You hear my kids fighting each other in the background. Sorry. But super yummy. Thank you so much, babe, for making this. It was so good.